My dad.
And why is that?
He encourages me to be strong no matter if there's much racism in this world.
That's so sweet.
My grandmother.
Why?
Because she is an amazing woman, which she's done with domestic violence, and she has been through a lot, and she has been back in the time where it was segregation and has been through rough times and trying to protest and help us all together, be all together with love and humanity.
I was really fortunate to meet the Obamas a few years ago at the White House, and I just finished Michelle's book, and they continue to influence me in my work every day.
My mom, because she always inspires me and tells me don't worry about what other people think about you.
But with my father, he has taught me everything I know, and he keeps my hope going, because sometimes I get sad and stuff at school and I'm down, or I get a bad grade or something, and he picks me up every time.
That would probably be my husband. He definitely is the most influential person in my life right now who is also black.
My dad,
Why is that?
because he influenced me to do sports and finish my day.
I would say the most influential black people in my life are my students. Every day they teach me something new about their culture or what they're interested in, and they teach me to appreciate things that are different from what I've grown up with.
I would say my mom, because through a lot of times when I saw stuff happening on the news, my mom, she would always encourage us and lift us about stuff like that, and I feel like she is the most encouraging because she's funny, she has a good sense of humor, and she knows how to make you smile through the rough times.
Probably Jordan Burroughs, because he is an Olympic wrestler and he helps me, and I feel like he can help push wrestlers to do their best, and that's inspiring to me.
One of my coaches, actually, who retired from here when I was a kid, Mr. Brown, Keith Brown, he was very influential in not just my life, but my brother's life, my family's life. There was also a man named Mr. Upshaw that was influential in us growing up. So he was probably going to be the one that sticks out the most, that had the biggest influence and impact in my life.
Mm-hmm. Me as well.
And Malia Bird. I forgot Malia Bird.
Okay. Tell me something amazing about one of your black teachers.
I don't have any.
Miss Stevenson is really influential and nice and sweet.
Mr. Butler, he's a good teacher, helps me with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Miss Stevenson, she's smart, she's pretty, and she's really nice at writing poems. She's gonna love that.
One of the black teachers at our school that I really am impressed with and really appreciate is Mr. Turner. He has taken me under his wing since I started teaching, and I just love the way he carries himself, and he knows exactly who he is and what he stands for.
Tell me something amazing about one of your black teachers.
Mr. Butler is very, very good at what he does.
Why? What does he teach you?
History.
So I'd have to go with the classic, Mr. Robert Turner.
I should have gone first.
Primarily because ever since I came here, he has always been teaching me something and encouraging me. Oh, speaking of the devil.
Hey, just think how encouraging you are.
Inside the classroom and outside the classroom, as a coach, he always pulls me aside and talks about how we can be better influences on our athletes. And always make sure I'm following the correct, up-to-date rules.
When I think of a teacher who stands out, it would be probably Robert Turner. Robert Turner has been here. He was a teacher when I began teaching here. He was very influential. He was a mentor. I've always seen him as a mentor, especially when I was a young teacher. I could always go to him for advice, and he would always give me. He's always slow to speak. He's always listening, and so. But when he says something, it's usually very profound. And so I think Robert Turner, by far, has been one of the most influential to me.
I would also say Mr. Turner. Ever since I came to Delcrest, he, as a language arts teacher, has definitely been my mentor.
I tell him all the time, like, he's never allowed to leave, and I mean it. He's not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to leave, Mr. Turner. I just don't know, like, what type of teacher, who I would be without him and without his guidance and continuous support of the things I do in my classroom, even though he calls them activities. But he's a constant support, 100%.
Mr. Butler, who I think of him as a father figure, and he's just really understanding. He'll take the time to really get to know you, and not just get to know you, but also help you in so many ways.
In elementary school, my PE teacher was the best PE teacher I ever had. He always just was caring for us and would teach us all the sports, all of them. Maybe I didn't pay attention because I wasn't very good at sports, but he always cared about us and knew every single name by the end of our 5th grade year.
Coach Morgan and Mr. Bolts, because they both are really amazing coaches for track, and they just both really show me different sides of myself and help me improve as a person.
Mr. Butler, he's funny, he gives us more freedom, and he understands how we feel.
I think that it is amazing what Coach Morgan does here every single day. The students obviously respect him. They respond to him well. Just the way he carries himself and the way he acts every day, he's definitely such a role model for everyone here and even for other teachers to follow. And I've loved seeing him being a mentor for students and other teachers as well.
Mr. Butler, he is one of my favorite history teachers. I love being in that class. He is very respectful, and he understands us, and I just give that same respect back to him.
So one of our black teachers up here at Delcrest that I'm really impressed with is Miss Stevenson. So not only does Miss Stevenson teach our 6th grade students in English and communications, but she's also a foster mom, and I think that that's a really amazing thing for someone to choose to do.
Mr. Bolds, because he's I don't know, he just seems strong in his beliefs.
Coach Morgan, because he's funny and he has a lot of sense of humor, and he's really cool.
Mr. Bowles, he influenced us not to mess with the girls, not to hit back, or we'll go to jail and stuff.
To me, this means to stand up for what you believe in, such as many black leaders have done in the past.
So continuing the legacy for me when it comes to talking about Black history is full of really influential individuals who have made massive contributions to our society here in America and around the world. I don't think that we talk enough about those contributions, and so for me, continuing that legacy is just, one, recognizing those people and talking about their accomplishments, but also just encouraging our leaders and our students to continue doing great things.
Pretty much remembering what happened in the past because it's impacting our future.
Smart girl.
I think to continue the legacy is to continue to recognize current and former influential Black individuals in society and basically prove their leadership and encourage our future generations to grab those aspects.
Knowledge of what we had to go through as a Black person, as Black people in the community. We just had to, the struggle was real. It was real, so yeah.
You know, I think for so many years, history was taught without the voice of Black history, and the fact that we're now emphasizing that. I think it's more than just this month, but because we can take this month to really focus and make sure that kids are aware, that communities are aware, that's really important, and hopefully we can continue that throughout the year so that history becomes everyone's history and that people recognize that everyone contributes to the history of America.
I feel like we should keep protesting and for the rights that we think we should get, and to keep sharing our word with other people who feel that we should have the same rights as everyone else, because we're all equal, and I feel like we all need to be treated this exact same way. Just because of your skin color doesn't mean and doesn't prove who you are, because everyone's beautiful on the inside and the outside.
That a lot of times got left out when I was growing up in history books and things. It wasn't on the forefront as it is now. So I think it's amazing this newfound generation, this new kind of a legacy that's beginning, and it's celebrating black culture. And I think that our school is one of the kind of pioneering schools of the district to help promote that. So I think that's one of the things that I feel is amazing about Delcrest.
Continuing teaching us at our age, teaching us what happened in the past, to know that we do not redo this in the present, and show us how people went through hard times and went through a lot of stuff just so we can actually be here today and be all together without hatred and everything, and just continuing it on and showing that it's not over, but at the same time showing what happens in the past so it does happen in the present.
To me, it means to keep social equality and not keep racism and stop it.
One of the things that I've always wanted my students to understand is that the legacy of overcoming incredible odds is so amazing. And we learn about the individuals who were inventors and all of that, but I think more importantly, it's to remember the thousands and millions of people throughout the last 400 years who have accomplished things, who have managed to live lives and gain an education against incredible odds. And I also think that continuing the legacy means that it is very important that people understand how young the struggle really is. It is still very new and it is still very young, and empowerment and enfranchisement have only been occurring for the last 50 years at the most. And it is something that this generation has to continue to strive to gain, and education and voting are the two most important ways to do that. And I hope that this generation understands that this struggle is not over, that power is still very unequal, and that we've got to all continue to work together to gain rights and empowerment for everyone. So that's what continuing the legacy is to me.
Today we are at Delcrest Middle School. Hold on. You want to start? Yeah.
My mother is.
Why?
Because she is a. I'm sorry. I can't do this, man.
How do you spell? What's your name?
My name is Mr. Mann. I'm the principal. That's M-R, period, M-A-N-N.
Okay. Well, it's Malia. I'm his favorite student, and we're out.
Absolutely my favorite by far. Thank you.
Yeah, we're out. Yeah, I forgot what to say after that. I got lost. That was another question. Okay, we're out. Oh, we're not.
Oh my God. Let's see.
Okay, next question.
How good are you at editing?
Hi, I'm the
Gang, no.
This is Malia. We're out.